Hey everybody, it's ChuckDFX coming at you, and today we're going to be doing a tour of the Jinsue Empire on Paradise Realms. This is a server that I've been playing on for over a year now, and next to me we have Sydney. She's going to be coming along to assist us. We're going to be having a little bit of an appearance by WolfRoseBook, who is one of the shoguns here. There she is right there right now. And these two young ladies are going to help us with the tour. So without further ado, let's get to it. So first off, we're starting off with my palace, and basically this is the very first structure that is here in the Empire, and right here was my throne room. We're going to make this really quick because I want to get to the main structures. And over here we have our guest rooms, and the other one looks pretty much the same except it's got a different carpet, right? And then we're going to go over this side. This is the kitchen area slash bar, if you want to say it. And this is where we store all the potions and stuff that I have for myself, as well as any food that I want to store up on. I brew my potions here, I have my cauldrons there. And up here, we have my bedroom. And yes, that's a dragon egg right over there. Thanks to Rose. I think Rose, I bought that one off of you, did I? I think I did. I think you did. Just nod if you can't hear her, but just nod your head for yes and shake your head for no, Rose. Yeah, I got it from her, right? Now you can see the view out from here. Right across, there's a lake where we've got a lot of guardians in that water over there, even though there's no temple. And in the back, we've got another view over here of the mountain range behind us and the farms off in Jinsue City. So let me just go a little bit further down here. I'm just going to go into the bottom level as well. Let me just speed up a bit. So over here we have the forge, the library and study, and this is where we do most of your chanting. One box here I have my enchantment books, and over on this side I've got my lapis lazuli with a couple of books. And we got pictures of characters from Pirates of the Caribbean here. That's due to an add-on for Mythics. That's here available on the server. And this little prize we won, gift from the gods mythic, that's here, and I keep that's in my forge that's here. And this is just a clock that's over there. Tell what time it is. And down here is the conference room. This is where I'd have all the shoguns and myself be able to meet up here. So like Rose, she's one of the shoguns. Sydney's from outside of the empire, but she's just visiting. And also here's basically my trophy room filled with other mythics that are there. If you can take a look and see, you can. This is a welding helmet, and this mode's called a coffin of all things. You have a Christmas tree because it's the holidays right now. It is actually December 23rd, 2015 as the date of this video, and we're almost getting close to Christmas. So the folks here at Paradise Realms, yeah, Rose says yay. And the folks at Paradise Realms are getting into the festive spirit by having little special items and events that is holiday oriented. And this flag here is the official flag, the official imperial flag of the Jinsue Empire. So there are nice little perks on the server. One of the perks is like Rose is a champion. And if you look over my head, if it's my name also, you'll see over here, you probably see me in the list there. Check the effects. So it shows me as a champion as well. That is the third highest rank now. It used to be the highest rank, but now the third highest rank since the introduction of the two new ranks. That is closest to staff, actually. Second only to staff as far as abilities are concerned. So we're going to continue going this way. So where's Rose? Oh, she's gonna be okay. Looks like Rose is gonna be away for a sec, I think. Let's see. No, she's around. Looks like she's gonna be back in a bit. It's okay. She can always teleport to us by using TPA /TPA and the player's name in order to TP to me. So we're gonna keep on going this way, and both of us are gonna fly just to make this a little more faster. And if you go down this way. we have some of the homes and designs that we have here in the Empire. This is specific mostly to Jinsue City, as they have different designs in different towns. This here is the warehouse. It is the central building of the Jinsue Empire's infrastructure. As you can tell, it takes a while to render a bit because it's a little bit on the laggy side. Unfortunately, right now it's closed for renovations. So now it's probably rendered, and like I said, it's blocked off there because it's still closed for renovations. But I'm just gonna pop on in, and you can see inside. So we can see here we've got all the items in these chests, and also and even then some. And staff has asked us to switch from item frames back to the old signs. Unfortunately, what I found is that item frames work out better because right at a glance you can see what the items are, and it's very quick and easy to get to what you want. Whereas over here you gotta go right up close to the sign and read what's on there. So it's much more quicker to do with item frames. Unfortunately, item frames cause lag, so that's why staff has asked us to remove it. Okay, so there we go. So if we go up this way, so this is the crafting floor. So we have a forge that's here, complete with a toolsmith. Right there, and he has your trades that you can do with there. And you have your anvils. I can actually use this as an anvil too. You also have a crafting bench or workbench and a couple of chests that you can use. There's also furnaces for smelting stuff. Here is your library, complete with a librarian. And if you guys are wondering why he's in a minecart, that's because we brought all these villagers up here in minecarts. So we brought them in from a nearby village. Took some time to bring them up here and some patience, but we managed to do it. And you can do all your enchanting in here. And I think we've got mostly these chests are supposed to hold books or lapis. So we got paper here. So your book materials will be going in here, and then you'd have your lapis lazuli in there. And over here you have your potion brewing room. So here we have your cleric, that's there. And over here you have your nether warts, as well as everything else you need. This you have your continuous water supply, which never goes away, unless of course you block it off completely. But that's there. You have your storage area for ingredients, your cauldrons, and your brewing stands. And there's up to 6 brewing stands that are there. So that's there. And if this is going to be closed up. This is part of this auto sorting system. This is an auto sorting warehouse. It's probably the only auto sorting warehouse in the entire server, and actually it's probably the biggest warehouse on the entire server. These are guest rooms, and as you can see, there are people who have actually occupied these. And we have one room that's left right now as of the date of this video, and this is what it looks like. So Rose, you can go ahead and take a bow because she's the designer of this room here, and she's the one who actually did all of this here. And you can actually get quite a decent view from here. Now, small note, most of these beacons you can see there are coming from certain areas of interest. The warehouse has a blue beacon because it's an infrastructure building, and you have the stable over there for horses, and there'll be another one over down that side. That's for basically animals, stables, ranches, and also farms. If we need farms, we have them there. There's also your red one is for government buildings. Purple beacon is for nether portals, and you have your white ones at the stadium, which would be for your entertainment buildings that are there. And show the roof. Okay, yeah. So this is the roof. This was one heck of a thing that we did here. I did 1/4 of it, and then Rose copied the other 3/4. So she has been very, very patient and very helpful. And as I say, a big thank you to Rose for all her help in the Jinsue Empire. She has been a real humongous help, along with folks like Drew, Drew does PvP, Jerry Mack, and a few others that are there. Babette's, he's changed his nickname to B.A. Morgan, and a few other things back and forth. Pinapple Man. So he's changed his name a few times, but originally his name was Babette's, or Babette's X, however you want to call it. We just call him Babette's or Ben, whatever you want to call him. So let's go back down to the main floor. And you may notice this glass here with the blue beacon that goes up to the top. That's our item transport system now for the vertical item transport. And if I go down this side, so this is your sorting chest. What happens is people just come in through the main doors from there, and they just open the chest, put all their stuff, right? And then they just leave and go. And then everything goes into a pipe, which then goes up into this glass here. I wish I could actually demonstrate this for you guys. I'll leave another episode for that, or edit this in later on. But it would go all the way up and up to the 3rd floor, and then run through a set of water stream pipes and go through a series of filters. And it's your basic filter mechanism. You probably have seen this before on a lot of others. It looks like this, right? Now, unfortunately, we can't use a hopper pipe in this, and that's why I'm using water streams. Even though water streams are not exactly that the exact best choice. It's not the best choice, but unfortunately it's the only thing that we can do here in order to avoid lag. Too many hoppers will cause too much lag, so that's why. So let's go ahead. Okay, let's everyone exit out of here. So tell Hayes that he needs to TP out of this place or jump out. Hayes is not actually supposed to be in there because he can't fly. Tell him to TP. Yeah, Sydnee got him to TP over. Okay, so Hayes managed to jump down. So he took some damage, but he managed to jump down. So we're going to keep on going this way. So this is the river district of Jinsue City, and it's called the river district because there is a river over there. And that's exactly why. There are 2 districts in the city. So over here we have the wishing well, and this is created by Babette's, aka Pin Appleman, aka Pin, aka B.A. Morgan. We're just going to refer him as Babette's for now. And it was created by him, and what happens is you just drop your items in here. There's hoppers in the bottom, and those goes to chest underground. And then what happens is Babette goes under and collects everything, and does whatever he wants with it. He made that himself, and I decided he can do whatever he wants with it. Over here we have the armory, and this was created also by Babette's. And he made a nice little thing here where he actually created the he had put some armor stands on here, put the armor on, and then he encased them in glass. I'm not going to tell you exactly how. I'm going to leave that for a tutorial. So that's going to be for another video. So if you guys want to be interested in doing that, check out my tutorial set, and that's going to help out with that. See, even Hayes wants to know how he did that. So guys, we've had some breaks in the video, unfortunately, because we had to do some editing because poor Hayes here happens to be the village klutz, and he has been getting into trouble, either getting himself killed or breaking stuff purely by accident, and just because he doesn't know what he's doing, I guess. And I don't know what it is. He just gets himself stuck in the warehouse, then he gets himself drowned in the well. Then he breaks one of the glass casings on the armor stands. He had to replace, or he actually takes off one of the pieces. He didn't break anything, but he took off one of the armor pieces on the armor stand and couldn't put it back. So I had to put it back for him. So that was so he's having quite the day right now. Anyways, he's a good guy. He's all good times. So, but this video is particularly for Hayes, especially for him, because it makes it a lot easier on me to give him the tour this way, and for anyone else in the Jinsue Empire who wants to take a look at this. And all these houses are for people who were formerly in Jinsue City. Over there we have Rose's old house, and it's still here. We haven't torn anything down. And this is exactly where where Rose first started out. This is where you started out, eh, Rose? Yep, see? Yeah, she said yes. And she has done a lovely job of decorating the place, as you can see. So the requirements here in the Jinsue Empire is on the outside, the home needs to be in ancient style. But the inside, you can decorate it however you want. So that way, people can have some flexibility here. And they can actually, decorate and do what they want with the inside, however they feel. We have some players here who are now currently inactive, and I think this is one of them. I don't know how long Anna has been on here, but Anna, I think she's been a few weeks since we've seen her. So I don't know if she's coming back, but it looks like she has come back because this pen wasn't here before. So she's probably on and off every now and then. So let's zoom over to the observatory. Now Hayes can't fly, but myself, Rose, and Sydney can fly. So, and there we go. And Rose with the Hayes again. He can't get out. He got stuck again. That's what I'm talking about. And over here we have the public stables from the eastern area of the city, of Jinsue City. And you can see we have a ton of horses that are on here. This stable design was done by Babette's. He even has a grave for his very first horse, which apparently died the summer of 2015. So about half a year ago from this video. And we got, you know, skeleton horses, we got regular undead or zombie horses, and we've got the other kinds of horses that are there. Ones with armor, ones with no armor, some that are tamed, some that are not tamed, and the list goes on. We also got donkeys and mules, etc. On this part, this is the breeding portion of the stable. And I don't know who did this, but that should be solid logs, not this. And it's not finished yet, so we had to fix that too. And actually this design of house was one of the two very first designs that we had in the Jinsue Empire, and we have so many of them because it turned out to be very popular. The one over there we saw at Anna's house is the other option that we had, which was the medium-sized one. We had another smaller house that was there also. So over here, this is a design that on over the one over there and the one over here. These are designs made by our very own WolfRoseBook, WolfRoseBook here, and this one here too. And it's been altered from her original design to fit the layout and most of the other the feel of the Jinsue City. And this is one of the latest copies of the house that we have over there. Now if we head over this way, yep, we're going to show the different towns. So we're going to go all the way down here, and I'm just going to walk this way. So head over to that big old structure over there. That is the observatory, one of the biggest, and you'll see biggest what it is. Here, welcome to the observatory. This is one of the biggest map rooms on Paradise Realms. It used to be the biggest, but of course since the time goes on, you always have someone who challenges you for the right of biggest or largest or most expansive or whatever. So down here we have Capital. This is one of the oldest cities on PR. Jinsue City is roughly about the same size, same age, but Capital grew far more faster. It was created by one of the staff here. His name is Zool. I'm going to give him credit. To shout out to Zool there, and he is an excellent artist. I can tell you that. His builds are always very decorative, very large, and typically kind of like Victorian Elizabethan, I guess, but very, very European style. And the layout and everything also is also very European. Over here we got a new town that's coming up, and that's by Mochi. And I think this area needs to be updated in the map because he's actually managed to connect this bridge so that his town connects to Capital. Now for people who can't fly, you can always go up here. So if we go up here and you can see Capital's there. You see that yellow wall? The yellow line that you can see my crosshairs are on. And that is Capital's fortified wall. Whereas you see that gray wall that my crosshairs are on right now, that is our wall. That is the Great Wall of Jinsue. The longest fortified wall on the entire server. And this thing is really long. It's taken a few months for it, on and off. A few months of work on and off for it to get as far as it did. It goes right off the map on the western side. So it starts over there in the eastern coast, and it goes all the way down off the map. You can see it going off the map right on here. It goes right off the map, heads to the western coast and then heads up. So this goes ocean to ocean, coast to coast. So this is the largest wall on Paradise Realms, hands down. There's absolutely no contest in that. And one big difference between Jinsue and our neighbors to the south is that we are one of the only nation concepts on the entire server. Jinsue is not just a city, it is actually a nation consisting of several settlements, towns, and cities. So let's going to start over here. This is Kaio. This is our small little harbor town that is on an island on the eastern coast. And it connects up to this road. You can see this road going all the way here. And it goes all the way to Jinsue City. This area right around here, all the way around here, that is Jinsue City. That's the capital city that's over here. And down over here, you can see that little green chevron that's in my crosshairs right now. That is the observatory. That's where we are right now. And over here, this is the stadium. The stadium alone is about 275 by 275 blocks. Over here, you get to see this is where the warehouse was. We were there a moment ago. Yeah, Rose is in shock. But over here, we also have two farms. This is the carrot farm and this is the wheat farm. And this is also the ranch where we have horses and animals. And both of these farms are automated farms. They're run by villagers. They actually will collect food and drop them off inside their little house. And I'll show you those how they work later on. But it goes from these farms all the way through a pipe down to the warehouse. So people in the river district don't have to travel all the way to the farming district in order to get food. They just have to go visit the warehouse. Over here, this is where the customs office is. This is where our warp is. So if you do /warp space Jinsue Empire, like this. Nope. If I were to do that and press enter, it would take me to the customs office. And over here, you get our nether temple. Okay. So that's there. Over here, we have Karasu. This was one of the fastest growing towns in Jinsue. Now, Karasu is a little bit different because it's one of the only ones that has a slightly fantasy side to it. And most of it taken from Asian mythology, East Asian mythology. So I kind of let it go just because it was the shogun there was following an East Asian style of some sort. Most other towns, we usually have them in more of a realistic look. But Karasu, whose shogun is Jerry Mack, has chosen a more liberal, more, I guess you could say more liberal, more fantasy type of layout that you would get for in East Asian history. Over here we have Hasu, and this is Rose's town. This is the this one is basically a inland harbor, and it's the majority. It just happened that the majority of residents here are all female players, with the exception of one guy who lives right in that house over there where my crosshair is. And over here you'll see, yeah, there's only one guy that's there. And Rose is like, LOL. The Sydnee's like, poor him. And over here in the crosshairs, you'll see Hasu University. Over here, there is a potato farm over on this side, and there is a pumpkin farm over there. The potato farm is also completely automated. Again, it's also run by villagers. Only difference in this case is this potato farm does not have a pipe that goes to another location. Instead, it just has potatoes that collect in the little house that's there. We do have to put a road up to this pumpkin farm that's over there. Rose, you might want to make a note of that. This is this little structure there. That's Jamie's house. Her house was built there way before Hasu started coming around in it. So you'll notice when we go there, Jamie's house is not in ancient Asian style. So that's because it was a modern house, and we just decided to let her keep it there because it's not her fault that we decided to build around it. And this is the town square, that golden pavilion that's there. And you can see there's a lotus there. A lotus being a water flower, and Hasu is actually, I think it was the Japanese, it's the Japanese word for lotus, is what it is. And coincidentally, we have a bunch of girls living by the water, so we got a bunch of water flowers, which happen to be lotuses. Yep, a rose is built in. So this area is this is where the market is. Now this has been changed, and we've had this ripped down, and it's going to change. Rose is going to work on that. Over here we have the stables for Hasu, and over here we have the model home neighborhood, and we'll get to see that too. Down over here we have a settlement of Jushen, and it's pretty much still in the works. It's exchanged hands between shoguns a few times, and we are still trying to get someone to build up on that one. So we need to try and find someone suitable who can look after that. Right now it's kind of like in limbo as to who's taking care of it. We've got two people who are looking after it apparently, but not too sure on how that's going, because there's hardly any progress since the very first shogun had left the place, and then he changed hands with one of his friends, then he took it back. And over here we have the beginnings of the Jinsue Imperial Central Station, and this is for a rail system that's going to connect all these towns together and allow for transport of not just players but cargo as well. Okay, this is going to be a cargo rail system, and as well as a passenger system. So you're going to be seeing trains of minecarts, about 4 carts long, going along these rail systems. And it's also going to be one of the very first, as far as what I like to call, a smart rail system, where every single intersection can make a decision without having to push buttons at that intersection. So it'll automatically, based on what your selection is at the central station, basically, look, this is your brain, and then you have your nerves that run all around, and based on the initial decision in the brain, the nerves will know, or the rails will know, which way you have to go. So if I were coming along here and the rail goes straight this way, and it goes all the way straight this way, and then goes all the way down and over to Karasu, and then you have branches that go over to Karasu. So I think that it goes all the way down to Kaio, and there are branches that go off to Karasu, branches that go off to Hasu, and then there's a stop here in Jinsue. It'll know exactly what to do and when in order to get to its proper destination once you've selected your destination down here. And we also have one more town that is coming up. It's actually a settlement just now. It's called Yunshen. So we have Jushen here, Hasu, Karasu, Jinsue City, and Kaio. Also over here we have the ruins of Yudin, which has the I think was called the Mogang, was it, Rose? The Mogang, I think was, forgot what it was called. Yeah, and it was the there is a story behind that. So if you ever come to visit Paradise Realms, do warp Jinsue Empire, come over to the customs office and try to make your way over into the desert, and come over to the ruins of Yudin, where you will find the Mogang, and that is our maze slash dark room with has a story behind it. If you really want to see what that story is, come on down to the Jinsue Empire, and you'll be in Jinsue City, and head over here where my crosshairs are. You'll see the structures later on when we end up going past there. So let's go down here. So we're gonna head off to the other locations here. Now, one thing, every single town has their own specialty crop, and that's why you'll see most of the towns will have no more than 2 crops. And before we go to any of the towns, let's go straight this way, and we're going to go and show the Great Wall of Jinsue. And you can see off in the distance here is the Great Wall of Jinsue. So this is no small feat. This is a very, very sizable wall. Completely practical. You can traverse through the hallways, and right across from it we have the wall for capital. And this is completely Zul design. And you might notice we had a little bit of a race here. There was a bit of a competition here. There is some history to this. Is that the Great Wall of Jinsue was when it first started, I guess Zul must have flew up and he noticed the wall being built going right across. Well, guess what? He started building his own that was there also. And we started building this, and he would extend his wall, we would extend our wall in both directions. And now the big difference between this one and this, the Jinsue's wall was built with practicality in mind. While, of course, you can see here, Capital's wall was built more with the ornate design in mind. And you can see it's very ornate, as you can see. Zul's builds are very detailed, very ornate. One thing that I have to say though, not very practical though. This is very much a very big decoration. There is some practicality to it, I could say, but the way that it's been done, it's basically basically this wall is an empty shell, and there's nothing really inside it except for trees. Honestly, there's really just trees inside. So he just built around the trees and built up this wall around the trees and then stacked it. And so that's exactly what we did. Now, what he did. Now, for Jinsue's wall, we didn't do that. We built up a stone base and then built the wall up from there. And the actual base unit is actually just 3 blocks long. And from that 3 block long and about 65 block or 75 block high unit, which is also, I don't know, about 17 blocks wide, we built this entire wall based off of that one single unit. And the beauty of this is because the units are so small, you can have diagonal paths as well as 90-degree bends, just like you have here. So if I go here, I don't know, someone who would put chickens up here, and you can actually have your diagonal path, then it goes in a straight line this way, then it makes a 90-degree bend over this way, comes back up, it actually goes up and down too, right? So very, very flexible. As you can see, it's going up here in this direction, and it can actually follow the landscape. As you may notice, another thing, if you ever see Capital had the difference in design for Capital City is that with Zul, he makes the landscape fit to his design, whereas in Jinsue, we decided to make it more natural by actually building with the landscape. And my apologies for the render problems, guys. There's nothing much I can really do about that. But either way, I will mention this guy is probably one of the best builders on the server, and he makes some really, really good ornate builds. If not for practicality, this guy is basically like a Greek artist. Very, very, very detailed and very, very nice looking builds done by Zul. Very massive ones at that. The man is a machine, and I have to give props to Zul for being able to build this thing, build something so detailed like this. So like I said, even though the practicalness is not there, like for instance, if there was a shootout between 2 people of equal archery skill, let's just say that we have a lot more protection from anyone who tries to shoot at us in the Great Wall. Now, as for in this section here, there's another part of the practicality that's involved here, is that every single tower has a living space where you can actually live in here. This is a barracks with little futon mats, which are actually sunken beds. The floor is half slabs, and then we put a little section here for the beds to be placed. So you actually sleep there. There is your crafting table, chests, and there's an attic up here for storage. You can put down a furnace if you want, and anything else that you want up here for like brewing stand and stuff like that, and have everything here. So it looks like Rose has to go, so we're gonna let her go. But Rose, if you don't mind for a real big second, we're gonna switch over to the stadium real quick, because we're going to need help over there. So here I'm with Rose at the customs office, and this is behind the warehouse. If we go inside here, we have a nice little design that was done I think by Jamie Robert Green, and also by a couple other one other female player that was on here. Evan, that's it, right? So Evan did this. It's Evan. She's the one who created this layout here, and very, very nicely done. This whole entire room is decorated by her. So props out to Evan for that. And over here we have the Jinsue city's imperial laws, and we'll get to that in a bit. But before we get to that, if you do /warp Jinsue Empire, you'll end up here. And here, right here, you have the Jinsue Empire Customs Officer, and this is our little officer right here. You right-click on him, and he has a number of trades that you can go through to start off. But one big thing is if you have emeralds, you can get yourself a bottle of enchanting, which helps you get experience points in your hotbar that's there. As you see, I have 38 levels right now. So if you guys come over down this side, here we have right there, anyone who comes to the Jinsue Empire will be greeted by this room here, at the very first time of entry. So you enter here and you start your reading, and it tells you all the rules involved with the Empire. That's all here, right? And you can see here everything here for those rules. We also have a section for general information, because after you come into that room, you'll see this. And if you come here, it'll give us general information about what you need to be looking at. And this is, of course, going to be updated. This is going to be updated too, because Jerry Mack has taken over for It's Evan, the one who basically decorated the inside of the customs office. Wolf is still, Rose is still Shogun of Hasu. Drew is still in Kaio. Jushen, we need a new Shogun there, or a definite one. And we also have Yunshan, which is going to be posted later on, who has Moxie as our Yunshan Shogun. And here we have some other rules that we would like to have for general information. So let's get out over here. So as you come out of the customs office, if you head over to the left, you will see the Imperial Stadium. So you look at that. This is one of the larger structures and venues in the Empire. As you can see, it's got a fairly nice little layout that's here. Now we can host up to 4 basic types of events here. So if you look down, we have a track that's going for horse racing. In the distance, you might notice there's a river that goes across. That's we use for boat racing. You'll see some targets down there. That's for archery tournaments. And off in the distance, and where those trees are, you'll see in that area as we get over there, that's where we hold our team PvP tournaments that simulate ancient East Asian or warfare. So I'm just going to go into fly mode to make things a little easier. And actually, let's go in here first. And inside over here, you'll see your venues. So you can actually rent out a stand over here and actually sell your wares to people who come in here. And if we go down this way, let me just fly over. And this is a little popcorn stand created by JB Robert Green. I think she made that one there. It's kind of cute. And if we go over this way, someone left a couple of chests and stuff. We're going to have to remove that. And go over this way. This is one of your VIP booths. This was designed by Rose, Jamie Robert Green, and Donna was also one who designed this one here. So they did an excellent job of this. And mind you, you're seeing this in the Old Faithful skin. The Old Faithful, I think it was the HD version of Old Faithful resource pack. So this is very, very close to the default resource pack, except it's just more, it just looks better. So this is your close to your default resource pack that you're looking at things right now, just a little bit more high quality than the default. And over here, we have a VIP area specifically for the staff. So if they ever want to come over and attend any of the events, we have a special place just for them. Over here, of course, you have my throne. It's just like the one I have back at my palace, except that this one has 2 humongous torches on either side. So up here, we can actually go in this direction here. And over here, we have the sniper booths. This is for our security guys to basically shoot down anybody who might be doing throwing potions where they shouldn't be doing, any type of unruly behavior. The guys who sit up here, or the girls who sit up here, are the ones who take care of that type of situation. And let's go up here. Over here we have the fireworks area, and these dispensers are what shoot out our fireworks for our fireworks display. I'm actually going to eventually design a new type of fireworks gun that will allow for us to shoot out fireworks horizontally rather than just vertically, because that will allow more fireworks to go over the crowd as well as above the ceiling. So I'm going to go down here, and Rose, when I tell you to, if you can just flip the lever, and Sydney, we can come along with me, so you guys can get a nice look at the Imperial Stadium from here, where the seating is. Okay, Rose, flip the switch. There you go. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but you can hear the fireworks bursting there. So here's the main area for the participants, and over here we have your this is your officials booth for the horse race tracks. Now this allows us to open and close the starting block gates. So go ahead and flip the switch. So you see they open up, and she flips them again, and they close. See, and you'll see that they're color coded. So that's the reason is because we also have a finishing block that's there as well. And Rose, if you want to go ahead and just cross the finish line on one of these, hold on a second here. Okay, go ahead, and you'll see our blue player is the one who won. So Rose, let's say Rose came out of the blue starting blocks, she would have to finish in the blue finishing block in order for her to actually win the race. Otherwise, if she ends up going in someone else's finishing block, the official is going to call whatever color is the one that goes through first. So yeah, you gotta remember that. So you gotta remember the rules in this case. Now, this is the only way that we can actually be 100% certain that somebody got in before another person, because it's much faster that way than if you were to do it by just eyeballing it, and it's also much more efficient doing it with that method as well. So if we come into the officials booth, behind the officials booth we actually have the pens for the horses, and this is where your racing horses are kept. I don't know why we have donkeys and mules here, because they're not racing horses. Anyways, now thing is here, as Rose and Sydney get ready for their little demonstration here, Sydney is not in the World Guard for Jinsue City, so unfortunately she can't use any of these animals. But if we were to take these out, no, I can actually, you know what, I can actually do this myself if I wanted to. But you know, we're gonna have Sydney. We're gonna have you run. Okay, Sydney. Okay. So Rose, you're gonna jump out. There you go, and she's gonna go into her starting block. So let's go here. So Rose is gonna get into the red starting block. You had to open both gates to do this. There you go. And you're gonna close the gates behind. I'm going to open up the gate for Sydney because she has no access to actually go in there. Like that. And then both of them are going to push against the doors just like that. You can see them pushing against the doors right now. Now if I go ahead and go around this side from the official booth and come out this side, you can see that both of them are pushing against the doors on this side here. So what happens is when I say ready, set, go, flip the switch, and both of them come out at the same time. So this way they end up with a fair start. And now they're not going to go on a full race, but looks like, I don't know, Sydney wants to go on a full race. But the idea is you got to go around this here and come up this bridge. You're going to fly, you basically ride around over here, jump off the ledge. I got rid of that. And jump over this, go through this little field here. This is broken, we're gonna have to fix that. So if this was fixed, we jumped over that. You gotta jump over this one here. This would also be much higher than this, and this is also higher as well. So this would also, you have to be jumping over this as well. but it seems like someone's come over and broken that, so we gotta fix those. And then you come over this way, and do you guys remember which blocks you were in? Okay, you're in. Okay, Rose is in green, and that means that Sydney was right next to her, which is red, I think. So red. So with the red. So there you go. So those two are coming along. Okay, and they're going to go through their starting blocks. I'm going to run into the officials booth. Okay. There goes green first. And of course, Sydney's not going to work because she's not in the world guard, so unfortunately. I forgot about that. So her one doesn't work because she's not in the world guard. So you have to be in the world guard in order for this to work. I'm going to have that changed by staff because I'm going to have to ask them to actually ask them to change that where people outside the world guard can activate redstone contraptions. Just because we've had situations where we need people who could do that. So you might notice this track section over here, which is cut off with, it has a wall with a wall over here and a wall over there. This is the lap track that's there. So if I go ahead and ask Rose to flip the switch, go ahead and flip the switch, Rose. Those walls go down, and a wall over here comes up. This basically tells players or racers to continue on this direction instead of going to the finishing block. And then they'd be able to go on another lap around the track. When the last part of the race is almost there, and they're arriving at the last part of the race, the official goes ahead and flips the switch. And there you go, everything is back to how it was. And then when the racers come down this side, they would then go through the finishing block, and then we get to see who finishes the race. Also over here, this section here, we have the winner's podium. So whoever is first will stand over here. You want to stand over here, Sydney? So let's say Sydney ends up in first place, she's over there. And Rose is in second place, so she would go here. And I'm in third place, so I would go over here. So we end up with a situation like this. Okay, so on to the rest of the track. So if you don't fly, you can always use this part here. So you come over this side, over the track, and you come down this side here. And if you come over here, you will see the archery range. And for anyone who's starting out, you would just shoot from here. Now the idea in the archery range is quite simple. And I'm going to go ahead and try and shoot at this. So I'm going to go ahead and there we go. I shot one. And if I want to, I can shot this one. There we go. See if we can get the last one over here. Nope, I missed. I missed it that time too. Not very good today. Not my luck today. There we go. And this one turned off for some reason. I don't know why. Too high. Too much to that side. Still too high. There we go. And you guys get the idea. And over there. Last one. Let's go for it. Oh, so close. There we go. So we have all 5 of them lit. This one was lit, but then what happens is your arrows despawn after a while, so it goes away. There we go. All 5 of them are lit. And that basically tells you that you've hit the target once you've hit all 5 of them in that manner. Now on this side, we have pressure plates that are placed on top of the lantern. So typically if you manage to hit the pressure plate on top of it, you're able to hit it. Or even sometimes if you just hit the very top half of the redstone lamp, you'll be able to get it. And technically this is supposed to be a little easier than the previous one. So you usually would start shooting from here and then afterwards go over to the ones over here. Now if we continue on, we'll see over here that we have our 2 boats that are here. And what happens is people would ride off in these boats, off from the pond into the river, come out over here. As you can see, there's a little sign here. It says finish line. Need to fix that sign. And essentially, you would stay here and until your boat just manages to touch the tripwire that's there, and turn on the lights. And then when they say ready, set, go, you just go flying off in this direction here. Follow the path here and head over through this way, come this side, come this way, so a complete circle, and then head back over to the starting line / finish line. That's under this bridge over there, and the first one to light up the lights wins. Now for the 4th event. Now we will be putting a bridge across here. We have noticed that, and it's just something that's been put on the back burner because of other projects. But for now, people can just swim across. And here we have our PvP arena, or PvP area that's here. This is our little battlefield for team PvP. And this is a little bit different because what we like to do is we would have a team with a general. And the generals would essentially sit over here and they would call the shots from here. You'd have 2 high-end guards for the general to keep him safe. And the idea of the game is to kill your enemy, the opposing team's general. And so you'd have your 3 players over here, 1 general and 2 guards, and the rest of the team, another 3 or so players on each from each side, would end up fighting it out or duking it out, here. And they can go ahead and they can, if they want to, they can go into their own little fortification, which is over here. If I can just get in here. Whoops. Let's try that again. A little bit tricky. Go up the stair and go up the ladder. And then you can go ahead, take out your bow, and fire away at the enemy from here. You can try and see if you can hit someone in the other tower, or you can get up here, jump up, and see if you can hit someone from down here. You got a little XP ball over there too. Nice. Now, over in this section of the city, you also get mobs in this PvP area. So that's another thing that you have to take into account during the nighttime. So if you're taking a nighttime battle, you have to worry about mobs in this area as well as other players. Now, if you're curious about the banner over here, you'll notice that there's a banner that's that has a single red dot in the middle, and on this side, you have a banner on this side for the opposing team, which has 2 stripes with some white in the middle. This is essentially the 2 sections, the 2 parts of the Jinsue Imperial flag. And what we've done is we've just had one section which is just the 2 stripes on either side, and the other section which just has your dot from the middle. So and the 2 together make up the Jinsue Imperial flag. So there we have everything from the stadium, and we're back in front of the customs office. So if instead of turning left, if we turn right at the stadium, so at the customs office, and then we follow the signs to go and head right this way, this time we're going to go over to the Nether Temple over there. And so this is the overworld version of the Nether Temple. It houses an original Nether portal design by Babette's, and he originally designed this outside by his home, but we went and took this and put it up on this hill just because we found it a little bit unsightly to be having it outside in the home, and we wanted to make sure we don't end up with a dozen Nether portals or a dozen Nether portals around town. It just would be completely unsightly, as in my opinion. But if we go in here, and Sydney's going to join me if she wants to, you end up on the other side in the Nether. But guess what? You end up inside a small structure that's here. This little house is the Nether Temple on the Nether side, and it provides players with a safe haven that they can warp in from the overworld into the Nether without being immediately attacked by mobs that might be close by. So you don't have to worry about carrying a sword or whatever. You can actually just warp into the nether and not worry about it. Now this door, it looks like it's open, but it's actually a mob-proof door. Under these two pieces of carpet is a 10 block drop. Is a hole underneath, and these are just being held up by signs. So that allows for these, when there's as any mobs that come in, they would come in this way and they would stop right here because they think there's a big hole here instead of seeing the carpet. But players can walk over it very easily because we see it. That's a carpet there. If I go ahead and go up here, you have your little upper level here, and this entire interior is mob proof. So we shouldn't get any mobs spawning inside here. If you do see mobs spawning in here, let me know. And you have your chest, your basics here. You have your crafting table, your furnace, your ender chest, also a furnace. You also have a disposal. So if I were to click on this, and let's say I do not want these two oakwood plants anymore, I want to dispose of them. I put them in the disposal, and then I hit escape, and now they're forever gone. They are disposed of. So now let's say I want to see if the coast is clear. Instead of going and checking the door, I can actually come out here to this mob-proof balcony, and I can take a look around and see, are there any gas or anything else around here? No, everything looks hunky-dory. Coast is clear. Okay, that means we can head back downstairs and make our way to the rest of the nether. So if we go down this way, and yes, there's a lava moat that's there, and if you can make it up there, you can go ahead and harvest all the quartz that's floating up in there. And we go out this way, and if we fly out over here we have another nether portal, and you can see it has the flags for the Jinsue Empire, and that's because this one leads to Karasu. If you want to see what the temple looks like on the outside for Jinsue City, this is what it looks like. We had brought grass in from the other world and placed it in here. Also for this one here, you also have emeralds that are placed at the top, and it's pretty practical. Also, instead of heading over to Karasu, if you want to, you can actually stay inside the fence and go down this way, and you'll notice that there is a little ladder that goes down this side. Now at the base of the ladder that I've come down to, you will see there's another ender chest that's here, another disposal, and also there is a regular chest here for if you want to keep stuff in. And if I go this way and close the door behind me, you can see there's a bridge, a flyover, just to make things faster, that leads over to another fortress right on here. And I'm going to get out of here because I have no armor whatsoever. So this leads into another fortress. And if I go around this way, now when we first found this nether fortress, it was fairly clean and everything, but since then, of course, you get grief and all the other things that are there, but you still get what really counts, and those are the mobs from the nether that are here, and they still spawn, like the blazes. You get your lava slimes, your zombie pigmen, you get your wither skeletons, and of course you can notice how important those are, because then you can get the wither skeleton skulls to spawn the wither. And once you're done, you can come back this way in through this, and you end up going up the ladder to the temple. And once you're back in the temple, you can just head back home through the nether portal. So here we are back in Jinsue City, and let's keep on going. A lot to do, a lot to see, and I'm just gonna fly over here. So let's say once we got, if we want to, let's say we were going down the road this way, and we decided to make a right instead over here, a left instead of going straight, and we went down this way, this path, and through the tunnel, down the side. And you may notice that it's a little bit familiar here. There, over there, there's the warehouse. There is the armory, and that's the river district off in the distance. So we're back at the river district, that's over there, but we're going to go this way to the Jinsue City mines. Now these are public mines that everyone is available to everybody in the Empire, and not just in Jinsue City, but pretty much everyone in the Empire. So you go in here, and you have all your facilities here. So you even have a bed here. So let's say you wanted to bed down for the day, you can actually sleep here if you wanted to. You also get your cauldrons, your anvil, a chest for any extra stuff here, another chest, an ender chest, a disposal, crafting table, and furnaces. So, as it says, stay off the tracks, because this will be a bump back if you don't. So what happens here is you get on here, and you go ahead and push the button, and it ends up taking you all the way down the mine shaft. That's the elevator. Let me just point our way over here, dismount, and up the cart goes all by itself. Right now, I don't know if Sydnee's going to be able to come down because she's not on the wool guard and she can't use those things. But you can see here we have a furnace for having mass amounts of items smelted and cooked. We have additional furnaces, more another ender chest, disposal, crafting table, chests over here, more chests that are floating because you have this supposed to be double slabs. These are slabs, supposed to be double slabs instead. And we have 4 exits for mine shafts and potential mine shafts. So we have this one that's been worked on quite a bit. And you can see off in the distance, if I go down here, that it goes off into another area here, and you'll see a bunch of caves and caverns that are here. And it shows here Jinsue City main hub, and there's another cave that's here, and there are still resources left here like iron and other things. So it's a really good place to, despite the fact that it's a year old, there's still a lot of stuff to be able to be mined right here in Jinsue City. And if we go down, and also we've also marked in this old shaft areas of interest with these posts. So you have here is a little cave that's down here. You can actually travel down through the cave and up down that way, and over this way we have the very first NPC caverns. So the cavern mines. We go up this way here, and you can see there's an NPC mine shaft right here. So if you go up this way, you just take the ladders if you can't fly, come up the side, and there you go. So you can go ahead and explore all around. As you can see, there's still coal and other ores just waiting to be harvested right here in the mines, and there's a lot of areas to explore. So let's go back, and I am going to head back to the surface. So see you on the surface. So just before we hit on the surface, what I'm going to do is I'm going to recall the minecart. Okay, and I do that by hitting that button. You saw that this button, this powered rail flashed when I hit that, but there's also something else that happened. And in about 15 seconds, roughly, as it says on the sign, there you go. There's the minecart. Hop back in, push the button again, and it sends you all the way back to the surface. No need for climbing. Can let my hands go. No keyboard, no mouse, no more of these. There I am, back at the surface, and Sydnee's up there waiting for me. There she is. So that little setup is very handy for any players that want to go mining, because it's nice because it leaves the surface area very clean. So we're back at where we started with the customs office. Now let's say we want to turn left from here. It's going to go across this bridge, and we're going to enter into the farming district. And we have another set of residents here. Here's another style of house that we have here on Jinsue City. This is one of the smaller homes. And we'll go into another one here. Here we have, over here, your wheat farm. And as you can see, once we get over here, we have our busy villagers harvesting and planting wheat all day long. And these are the guys who do all the work here. We don't have to worry about players replanting, and you can probably see over here, there's actually a big section here where somebody has harvested something and they never replanted. But you know what? We don't. That's completely okay. We don't have to worry about it because the farmers will replant everything. Now over here we have the carrot farm, and it's exactly the same concept as the wheat farm. Even though we get some pesky rabbits every now and then stealing our carrots, we still get the farmers who stay true to tending the farm. So that's why these little guys aren't really much of a problem for us, because we still have laborers who will take care of everything for us, and we don't have to worry about, replanting and such. Now, just like the wheat farm, the villagers here in the carrot farm will gather carrots and they bring it into this little house. What they do here is they will go in here and they see their little friends there. Well, this guy, I've ensured that this guy has absolutely no food in his inventory. And the farmers, they realize this, and they'll try and toss food up to this villager up here. But instead of getting it to him, since he's too high, they'll end up going into these hoppers. And then the hoppers will then dispense the food through droppers into a water stream pipe, which then takes the food all the way back to the warehouse. So that's how we end up with getting the food over to the people in the river district. People in the farming district, of course, since they're so close to the farms, might as well just come into the farms and pick their food themselves. And the nice thing is they never have to worry about replanting, so all the better. And as night falls, we're gonna head out from Jinsue City and head over to the ranch over here. And our first stop before we do that is we're going to head over to the ranch. Now, we may notice that we have stables in every single city, and the reason is because right now the only means of traveling efficiently between towns is on horseback, or donkey or muleback, if for that matter. You need some sort of steed, to get you from one place to another fast enough without having your hunger bar go down. And we also have here a chicken coop, and that's why we have our little eggs here. I don't know who put the saddles in where the eggs are, but that's not supposed to be there. So there we go. So that's all the saddles are back in the proper chest instead of being there. Let me go back out. And again here, you can see the chickens that are there. Now this design comes from a ancient East Asian stable design from the game Age of Empires. And what we did was we just took that design and basically made it our own by building it here in Minecraft on Paradise Realms. And over there we have the tiniest house in the entire empire. As you can probably see, this was made by one of our younger players. He is 11 years old, I think. Yeah, he's 11 years old, and he made this little house all by himself, completely legitimate, as Ninja of MC _ YT's residence. And he has a little mailbox. Of course, he locked it apparently. We shouldn't be doing that because otherwise it's useless. And in the interior is all him. This is the first time I've ever seen. When he came along, it was the first time I've seen people putting rails on top of furnaces and crafting tables. I don't know what the purpose of that. He has his own little disposal. And a tiny little bed right here. He has all his basics in this tiny little living space that is very, very small, very, very, well, it's very space efficient. It's about 5 by 5 in size, very small. Whereas, so you're not gonna get any other homes smaller than this. The majority of homes are much larger, with the second smallest house being that reddish orange type of one that's over there, and you'll see a few of them that are around. This is another style that comes from Hasu, and over here, and that's also been modified to suit Jinsue City. So Rose is off to sleep, so we won't be seeing her, so we're gonna wish her good night. So good night, Rose. And yep, she says bye. And we're gonna head off over to Karasu. So you can see we got mobs on the way on the highway. So we need to light up this place seriously. And that's another project that we're gonna have to have, is to put down street lamps along the highway. And this takes us all the way to Karasu. And Karasu, so like now Jinsue, the name Jinsue actually means golden. It's the Chinese word for golden, Jinshu. And so Jinsue Empire actually means golden empire. Karasu means raven, and that was named after the original shogun of this town. So we decided to use I think it was the Japanese name. I think it was either the Japanese or the Chinese name for raven is Karasu or something like that. Don't think I'm right. Sorry if any people who are watching this who happen to speak Chinese or Cantonese, Mandarin, or Japanese. If I happen to be murdering the pronunciation, my apologies on that. But the names are all based on Chinese, Japanese, and Korean words that have a meaning behind them. And over there we have our samurai creeper somewhere there. Originally, now the shogun here is Jerry Mack, and he has done a really nice job of the designs here. This is the first time I've seen a stronghold like this, which especially one, it looks more medieval than ancient East Asian, but oh well. Then we also has the sakura trees, which is pulled off very nicely, and a floating island. So remember I told you this was the town where we had the fantasy aspect, and this is the main fantasy aspect of it. And we have here a little rotunda with a little man with a pumpkin head fishing over here on the pond. Now that the water in the pond is not the same water source that goes down. This is a completely different water source. If you look up, you'll see that it's completely blocked off. It's not open to the top, so you can't really jump down from there, and you can't really get up there really. So this is the area where practicality is questionable. And as I said, he has had full reign on being able to do his little fantasy thing in here. Now, there is no world guard here in Karasu. Unfortunately, there are some issues that have to be dealt with. But because of that, Jerry has decided to put up his own town wall, which is completely acceptable. And he has one thing that I really loved was his temple that was here, and he built this all by himself. And this is his home that he has as the shogun. And this is a bit different because Jerry, when he first came in here and he started building this house, he wasn't the shogun of Karasu. It's Evan was. And she started her home here, but wasn't able to actually finish up on her home because of personal matters in real life. She was not able to complete work on Karasu, and Karasu was basically stagnating. As such, when Jerry came on, he decided to build himself this big old house, ancient East Asian style. Love the arches, I gotta say. This is all Jerry, this portion here. And because of this, I asked him, do you want to try and continue building on? So he became, first of all, the assistant shogun in Evan's place. And Evan's home used to be around here, but Jerry has been since promoted to shogun. So he's taken down Evan's old home and put this stronghold in its place. We've also have some old residents that are still here. Well, we even have staff that is here. I think Huevos, his house is this one here, I believe. And we also have a number of people that live here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people Oh, and 10 actually. 10 people living in Karasu. And if we head over this way now, you might notice there's a little border of sea lanterns there, and that's for the upcoming station that's going to be coming in Karasu. So I've designated this area for the station in Karasu. Over here, we have a pagoda that is still in the works. That was built by War Victory Death, and we just call him Vic. It looks like this thing has been a bit of grief here. So yeah, it looks like it's been griefed a little bit. So we're gonna have to have staff take a look at this as to why or who did that. But yeah, this is a bit dark compared to what it used to be. And these stairs, I don't know what these stairs, but it looks like it's been griefed a little bit. We'll have to report that to staff later on. So that just demonstrates the importance of having a wall guard. But as we continue our journey, we're going to go down to the road. Whoop, let's get down there. And we follow the road this way and this way. Oh, you can see over here there's a little fountain here. I really like this work as well. This is really nice work done by Jerry. And then over here, I'm going to continue following the road. We're going to pass this house over here. And we're going to continue on this way, over the bridge. So we're leaving Karasu. And over here, we have that way, which is the town of Karasu, and this way leads to the villager subway switching stations for Hasu. So we had a transportation system for villagers that allowed us to transport villagers from Jinsue City's villager nursery to Hasu, and we had plans to actually bring that into every single town, so that every single town would be able to have villagers. That project has been put on hold because we want to try and get building supplies from town to town first before we consider about the villagers now. So that's been put aside while we build the main railroad for players to get around much more efficiently. And as we go down this way, we enter into Hasu, and as this one has a world guard, and so when you enter in the world guard, you'll see "Welcome to Hasu in the Jinsue Empire, City of the Lotus." So here we go, and this is the Hasu stables. You see right there. And this design was one done by Surfside, also known as Suki Ryu. She's done a wonderful job with this. She did everything completely legitimate. That's Suki Ryu, that is. We will see on this side the model home neighborhood in Hasu. So Hasu has this nice little feature which has a neighborhood strictly for model homes. And these are all homes built and designed by Rose. And you can see it has a nice little layout. Inside is also an ancient Asian style as far as the roofing is concerned. And I'll be honest, she mostly found these from YouTube and made modifications as need be. Some of these are modified versions from the original homes or designs done in YouTube. But if you go here, we see a few designs that we have and that are available to anyone who wants to move into Hasu or any other city in the Jinsue Empire for that matter. And we have this design over here, which has a sheep in front of the door. Move away the sheep. There we go. And you have a back door as well. Oops. Which will allow for you if you want to have a little garden in the back. And over here, we have your upper level with a balcony. And you can put your little porch here with, I don't know, maybe a couple of chairs and a table. Nice. And we head back downstairs, head over to the next house, close the door on this one. as we go this way. And this is a modified version of the house that we saw previously. So this design is like that one, except this design was one that I personally had modified so that instead of 2 floors, you get 3 floors with an additional attic on the top. A small little peering window for you to peer out of. So you have your attic, bedroom with a balcony, and then your main living room area here. And you put a kitchen in here if you want to. Now heading out of the model neighborhood, the model home neighborhood, we head over here to the very first Shogunate mansion. Hasu is actually the second city to be settled into in the Jinsue Empire. So where Jinsue City is the first, the second one was Hasu. Then came Kaio, and then Karasu. Okay. And after that we have Jushen, and now we have Yunshen that's coming in as well. So the Hasu's Shogunate mansion set the standard for all other Shogunate mansions. And this was a standard that we want all of them to follow. Now Jerry's one is the only exception in Karasu because his was originally designed as a temple because he wasn't the shogun at first when he first got to that town. So his is the only exception. So first of all, this entrance here, this is a mob-proof entrance. And the reason is because the Shogunate mansion is not just the home of the shogun, it's also a fortification for the people in the town to gather into. It's also a conference area and a gathering area for the people, so that if you ever want, where the shogun can address people here. So you have your little area here where the shogun can be up there. So if Sydney goes up there on the balcony, so she can go on the balcony and look down and address the people from up there, right? Now if it's a large crowd, so you can have people up here too, and they can be all watching her while she addresses people from up there in a little town meeting. Also, if it's just a small group, she can be right here on this little porch, over this porch over here, or over on this porch over here. Now I do know that the doors on this building are locked, so we can't really get in, but I can tell you it's really, really nice on the inside. Now this particular section of the Shogunate mansion is fairly interesting because this is your barracks, and this allows any of the security guards of the shogun to actually live in here. They can actually also shoot out from here using bows and arrows like this, and be able to take down any mobs or any hostiles that they may need to take down in order to keep the shogun and the people safe. Also inside, I'll take a look here. Unfortunately, I can't go inside, but inside you'll see there's the conference room. So when Rose is around one day, we'll take a look around, and I'll update this video and be able to show you guys the actual conference room that's in there. And over here you'll see there is a door here. Then you have this fortified wall. This fortified wall is spider proof. You can see there are fences placed right across, so what happens, a spider will come across here, try to climb, and will not be able to get up any further. And also spiders cannot get in through here. Now this area is pretty well lit, so you don't get many mobs coming in this area, and also the mobs from here won't want to come across because of this mob proof entrance. Right, there's a 10-block drop that's under this carpet, only being held up by signs. So remember, they think it's a hole. So you come up here, you can actually traverse through the wall in that direction if you want to, and if you climb up over here, you open up your trapdoor here and climb up here, close the trapdoor, and there you can actually go ahead and shoot down any mobs or hostiles from here as well. And then if you want, you can hide like this. Since this is half slabs up here, so this entire top of the wall is mob proof as well. You won't have any mobs spawning up on here at all. And another thing is that you can actually duck like this, when you're like this, so it makes it a lot harder for someone to hit you, unless they're going to take like a really major angle shot like this and fire this way from really far away. But you have to be a really good marksman for that, with some really good aim. Either that or you have a hack, one of the two. I'm not going to recommend any hacks, but what can you do? Some people do it. Just don't do it when you're on Paradise Realms, because staff will definitely kick you. Yeah, Sydnee agrees, definitely hacks. But there are some guys who don't have hacks, and they actually can shoot you from up there. Even if you're behind something. They're just that good. And I know a couple of players who can do that. I think even including Moxie, if I remember correctly, he is also a really good marksman, and he's able to do that very easily. So this is the house of the only guy in all of Hasu. And if you guys want to know, we can look here. There's a screen name, Mako Zombie. So that's the only guy that's here, and he's an adult amongst a bunch of teenaged and early 20s girls. And some girls were a little bit pre-teens, but what can you do? Yeah, good luck to him. Yes, exactly. And that house is Alice's house over there. And over there, we can go over this way. Over the distance, we have Jamie's house. You can take a look here. Looks like Jamie's been busy. She's changed it up a little bit. She's have this red clay instead. Probably make it a little more festive. And yep, she's got a Santa Claus banner. And there's Jamie right inside. So we're back over here. Let's continue on to the road this way. So if I continue this way, then I'm actually going to go this way. Now you may notice that the market has been taken down, and that's because Rose has plans to redo the market completely. But if I go this side, you will see the Golden Pavilion. And the concept of this is you have the Lotus, Hasu, or Hasu, in the Golden Empire, which is the Jinsue Empire, right? Surrounded by gold. So that's why we have it like that. If we were to do one for Karasu, you'd have one of a raven surrounded by gold. So that's why we have the symbolism. Over here we have another house. After passing through that tunnel over there. Here we have the potato farm that I mentioned before after showing the map in the observatory. And we have our faithful potato farmers that are over here, apparently looking at something that they want to go to, I guess. I do not know what. I think they're stuck. Or not, they're not stuck. They just want to head in that direction for some odd reason. Oh well. It's very odd, since they should be able to go into the house very easily. And we got two guys already in there, so they're fine. The pigs? You think they want to go after the pigs, Sydney? Yeah, she's probably right. It must be that the pigs over there. I don't know why, but I'll have to figure that out, why they want to go after the pigs. That's another experiment that I'm going to do for another tutorial, and once I do find out why villagers like to be attracted to pigs, yes, that's up for another tutorial. And if we go down this way, now there's no road heading to this house, but this is a lighthouse that we have here on this island just outside of Hasu's World Guard, but it's still part of the city of Hasu. And you can see here, because we have an entrance around here somewhere to the ocean, if I'm correct. Yep, we do. We have this river path that opens up into the ocean out here. You'll see your squid swimming down there, a couple of animals that are floating around. And out here is the wild blue yonder, so to speak. And if we go back, whoops, I'm going to go back this way. Here's the river, goes this way. So you can come in by boat. And there's your lighthouse, right there, ready to greet you when you come into the Jinsue Empire. And it has a little dock there. This is a little safe dock design that you can use if you want. What happens is when you come in on your boat, you open up the doors, go through the doors here. You can close the doors, and then you just hop out of your boat. And that way, if the boat decides to straggle off and go in another direction, it doesn't go outside of this dock. So that's why it's called a safe dock. It's actually a fairly old design. It's been around for the longest time, as far as I can remember playing in Minecraft. That is, but it's very, very useful. So let's continue on. So here we are back at the road from the potato farm, and we're heading this way. Down that side we have Donna's house. As it renders, you can see all the flowers that she's put up. We go this way. We have the path, the road, and leading to the bridge that leads to Hasu University. This is a structure that was based off of a Tibetan monastery, and it's essentially built right into the mountain. Now it's Surfside, or Sukiryu, who built this entire place completely legit. Imagine that. So it's she's built this place entirely legit. She's over here has her old name, Professor Surf, for Surfside. She now lives here as well as in the town that she already started. So I'm gonna keep going down this side. And actually, I forgot about that. There's a land. We have our own Asian style, another fantasy town that we have off the coast of Jinsue City. So off the coast of the western coast of the Jinsue Empire. And so if we go down this way, this is your lecture hall down here. And as you can see, what happens in this case is you have your teaching boards that are placed here, made out of a square of item frames to represent a crafting table. So you have your crafting table that looks like this, and what happens is if you want to go ahead and explain to somebody how to craft an item, all you do is you place that particular item in here, and then you quickly put the recipe up in here. So here we have the recipe for a redstone repeater, and in here we have the redstone repeater. Then what happens is the person who wants to try and make it takes the materials for it, in this case 2 redstone torches, a redstone dust, and 3 stone blocks, right clicks on the crafting table here and goes ahead and makes the repeater. And that's a very quick and easy way for them to learn from somebody else without having to go to YouTube or anything else, right here in game in the Jinsue Empire. And over here we have the library. Okay, and this is where we can have enchants over here. Looks like Sydnee's going to take a break. So here we have our enchants that you can do over here, as well as books that are here. We have books that are being written by Surf, by Surfside, who is now named Sukiryu, that she writes and she puts in these chests. And if we go down this side, we have the study hall over here. So you can have your professor or your examiner sitting here, and you have your students who will then come and sit here. And they also have a nice view of the outside from over here. You can see off in the distance the lighthouse that is rendering, and this one little whole bunch of rain with a little bit of snowfall coming down like this. Only in Minecraft would you get something like this. So guys, it looks like Sydnee's got to go, so we're going to bid her adieu. So wave goodbye, Sydnee. There we go. And we thank you very much for helping out with this tour. And it looks like I'm going to be helping doing the rest of this on my own. So we'll see Sydnee back another day. Now from the study hall, if we go down this way, we'll head into an area that is still not finished. That's still under construction. And if we go down this way and go in here, we will enter the engineering lecture hall. And this is where we have a whole bunch of redstone contraptions and concepts are explained here in this area. We also have plans for a chemistry room that goes in there, and that we'll have to show you after that is done. So that concludes our tour of Hasu University, and we're going to continue on to our next destination. Now, before we leave Hasu, there's one little thing that we want to show you, and that's the pumpkin farm that's over here. There is no road leading to it, but if you're ever interested in seeing where it is situated, you can see Jamie down there farming away. And all you have to do is you take the road from take the road to the potato farm, and then head down in this direction here. And if you wanted confirmation as to where that is, it's actually west. So you're going to head west of the potato farm is the pumpkin farm. We just had to build a road to it, and that's something we may do in the near future. So as we leave Hasu, we come over back to this junction over here in the road. And instead of going straight to Jinsue City, we're going to make a right, and we're going to head down south. Now this is leading eventually to the switching station for the villager rail system, but there's also another place that this place leads to. Now we're going to fix up this to make it looks up into a nice bridge in the future. You can see there's a lot of work here in the Empire that still needs to be done, and we're always asking our fellow players, our fellow residents, to come out and help out. So you can see here, this is the villager subway switching station for Hasu and the Hasu switch. And what this does is it allows you to either hit northbound to Hasu or southbound to a dead end. Now this dead end is eventually going to go towards Yunshan, because Yunshan is the next stopover westward for now. But if I were to take this direction instead, since now there is no road here, I would end up going to these mountains over here. And in the mountains, if you manage to climb up to the top, we have a town that is currently not very easily accessible by any normal means, and that is the settlement of Jushan. So Jushan is currently pretty much at a standstill right now as far as construction is concerned. So we are looking for a new shogun, or a shogun that would stay and actually do and work on this actively, is what we're looking for. We have had people who've come on and say they're going to be a shogun, they're going to work on this, and they don't really produce. So we're looking for dedicated people who are looking to build up this place into something that's going to be unique in its own way, of course sticking to the rules of the Empire as far as building is concerned, but still unique in its own way, and having its own this is our very first mountain town in the Jinsue Empire. The name Jushan is actually the Chinese word for snowy mountain, and that's exactly what this is. So now right across from the settlement of Jushan, you will notice that there is the Great Wall of Jinsue, and this is probably about midway through the map in the observatory. But if we continue heading westward, you're going to see exactly how long this is. Now unfortunately, due to the rendering speed here, I'm not able to show you guys this thing in its full, and how good it is, because we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people online, and things tend to get a little sluggish after you get so many people online. But yeah, so it tends to be a little slow on render today. I'll be honest with you, it's actually a lot faster on other days. This is just one of those days where it just happens to be slow, right? So there is quite a bit of lag here today for rendering things. And on top of that, I think like I have my player brother set to clear, but I think right now it's raining on the server, So whenever it rains, it also causes this to happen, where you have this slower performance that's there. So this thing can be really, really long. Actually, it is really, really long. Not can be, it is really, really long. There are sections of the wall that are still not connected to the towers. These are sections that are not complete as of yet. You can see that how we built it in sections where we have the towers drop down, and we have the sections of the wall in the 3 by 17 by 75 sections that were added in and then basically stacked in. And otherwise, this would take even longer to build this completely legitimate. It's ridiculous. We only had that one area that was built legitimately. Now we have this little marker here. That is a marker that leads to Night Sky Flames town, and that's basically what we consider an international destination because it's not really part of the Jinsue City. Now, right now there are no real entrances through the wall. The only means of getting through the wall from one side to another, if you can't fly, is through the riverways. These little under the wall riverways that you have here. They're called the portcullis, I think it is. But yeah, but if we head this way, after going through there, eventually we're going to come to something that is very, very new here in the Jinsue Empire. And I'll get there in a moment. Oh, there it is, off in the distance, is the Shogunate Mansion of Yunshan. And we have already about 2 or 3 people who have started to live here, and it looks like our resident shogun, who is named as Moxie on Paradise Realms, has been really busy. He's already started the new wall. Loving it, I gotta say, loving it so far. He's done some really great work here. And just like the Great Wall of Jinsue, this design is modular. There you go. Here is the beginnings of your mob-proof door, a mob-proof entrance. As you can see, there's a very long drop down that way, and you just have these signs here. So what's going to happen is Moxie is going to put carpets on top of these, so that the mobs, when they come here, they only see a big pit. They don't see the carpets, and they won't walk over because they think they're just going to fall right through, because they see the signs and the carpet as just air blocks. So as we go through here, we'll see there are stairs that lead all the way up to the mansion over here. And he laid every single brick or every single block on here by hand. Now see, I got a zombie that's coming here. Here's another mob-proof entrance that's here. Look at that. He's gonna go across there. He climbs over there, but he's not gonna come anywhere near me. Now, for this to be really effective, you need at least 2 carpets wide. At the nether temple on the nether side in Jinsue City, there is a very small chance that you could have a mob actually chase over this because it's only 1 block wide. And you can see here, this is still under construction. This area here, he still has several floors to build up. This is a it's going to be a very spacious. It's going to be a very spacious setup here. You can see with plenty of room to spare. Moxie's original design was done in the creative server right here on Paradise Realms. Now Yunshan, of course, is brand new. We literally just had this settlement start up about a week ago. So just this month of December, while the others such as Karasu, Hasu, Kaio, Jushen, and Jinsue City have been around for about a month or about a couple of months or more, with Jinsue being here for about the same age as the server itself. Now here we are at the location where Tom the Cool will be building his house. So he hasn't gotten too much done on this. He just has a little yin yang on the floor and this dojo marker which he made, which I found really interesting. And just a little bed here. So he still has a lot of work to do as far as getting a regular structure is concerned. But nice thing, he's actually very, very close. You can see off in the distance, is very close to the Great Wall of Jinsue. So this is the western portion of the wall, which goes north south and runs along the western coast of the Jinsue Empire. So that said, we'll have to come back later when he actually has something fixed up and done. Now, not too far from Jushen and the Great Wall of Jinsue, we have something that is coming up in its infancy, and that is the Jinsue, basically Jinsue Imperial Central Station, and it's under construction right now. And so we have a lot to look forward for this system, because this is going to be the very first one of its kind as far as I know, and I'll be making a tutorial later on how I decided to build this. But this is the very first stage, and what this central station is the brains of a very large rail system, one that includes smart switching, which is a method that I have devised on my own. I never found this out through YouTube or anything. This is something that's completely off the top of my head. So if there's anyone who's come up with this before, please let me know. But I will be getting into tutorials on the mechanisms involved for smart switching rails in another video. So please look forward to that. Now over here we have our individual cart bays, and this is essentially like a cache, so we could have multiple trains coming into this station at any time. Remember, this is the central station. All trains will eventually come in and out of this station at one point or another. Every single city, when it sends a train out, that train will first come from this city station over to this central station, where you will pick your destination from here and then head out to your destination. Now, while this may seem a little bit more cumbersome to some, the design itself is actually quite unique, and it's also a lot more intelligent in the sense that you can actually afford to have a lot more of a nicer aesthetic when it comes to rails and intersections. You don't have to use as many rail paths, because the switching systems know where to send you based on what decisions you make in this station here, based on here. And basically what there are individual terminals. This is terminal 1, which has 3 bays. We're going to also have an additional set of terminals that go from terminal 1. So terminal 1 is going to take you to your international locations as well as your east and west locations with it. So your international locations outside of Jinsue City, as well as your eastern and western locations that are inside the empire. So so terminal 1 is going to take you to your international locations outside of the Jinsue Empire, and also you're going to have your eastern and western cities that you can actually go to in the subsequent terminals from this point here. So this here, as I mentioned before, is terminal 1. We're still in the works of getting this thing done, so just to give you guys a heads up, that's something that some of the guys decided to build while they were waiting. Again, let's put it this way, I am probably one of the few people on here who are really good with redstone as far as being an expert in it is concerned. And as you can see, it gets a little bit convoluted, but what I've done is I've tried to make it so that the redstone does fit in a reasonably sized area, and manages to work in a manner so that no matter if you have all three of these bays are full with people sitting in it, if 2 people push a button at the same time, only one of them goes while the other one doesn't. And that's exactly how this has been built. And guess what? It works. It's working. These bays are working, and they do launch with a failsafe that if in the event two people hit a button at the same time, only one of them will launch and the other one will be stay stuck in the bay until the other person's passed, and then they had to push the button again. That'll allow them to switch their rail over, and then they'll be able to launch from there. Our last destination in our tour of the Jinsue Empire is the far eastern harbor town of Kaio, and we're actually on our way there. And I'll be honest with you, if you're not able to fly, the fastest way to get here is on horseback. There is a road that leads from Jinsue City through the desert, through some other biomes, and into Kaio. Now here we are, and we're greeted right here by the stables, which is taken from Babette's design in Jinsue City. And the Shogun here is Drew, also known as Drew TMC or Drew Does PvP. His old name was Drew Does PvP, but he's changed it ever since. We have Slides Home, which is over here, and the architecture from that is taken from Hasu. And then if we go over here, we have the Shogunite Mansion for Kaio. If we go this way, and as you can see, it follows the general template that is prescribed for all Shogunite mansions. We have a fortified wall, which has a mob-proof top. Now, we don't have the doors in yet, so that's something that has to be fixed. There are also these towers here where you can have a sniper come and actually snipe out of here. There are your barracks here, where I guess in this case they've changed it into a storage room for weapons, and that allows you to go ahead and shoot arrows out at whatever happens to be a threat to the Shogunate Mansion and the town of Kaio. Heading back down, we can come into this home, and here we have his I guess his main living area for the Shogunate Mansion. Again, here we have another tower. Now this one is still not finished because you should be able to go back up there, so that's it looks like this is something that's still in the works, but the interior design on this looks pretty well done. If we go up here, we have the master bedroom with two beds that are here. So Drew has his choice of beds that he could sleep on, with a little conference table, I guess, that we have available there. And here we have the attic. This is where Drew has all of his storage. And if you go down this way, you can actually close these trap doors if you want to, so that you don't slip up. Whoop, forgot I'm holding a bow. And then if we head back down the stairs, we can go down here. Here we have the area where Drew will be able to greet anyone who comes in, similar to my throne area where I have my throne, and basically be able to meet anyone in the palace. You have sitting areas with bookshelves, so basically a very nice little space where people can gather inside the Shogunate Mansion. So right down there you can see that there is an area where people can congregate, and from up here the Shogun can address them. Now if I were to come back down over here, you can have them addressed from here as well. But let's say there's a large group, you have the balcony that's up there, just like in Hasu. Now, if we head off from the Shogunate Mansion in Kaio, you come over here, and we will see that there is a nice little Asian style home that was made for Robin. And this was one that was helped out. This also is reminiscent of some of the houses in Karasu. As you can see, Jerry's hand is in this. And you can see we have a little, oops. So she has a couple of cats and a couple of dogs. And let's just go ahead and go for a little tour here. And she has two nice little bedroom areas there. Very nicely done. And a pet rabbit. Now across here it looks like Robin has made her own little animal pen. Personal animal pens are allowed as long as they're separate from the house and close to the vicinity of the house. And over in this section we have Lumpy Potato's house. And this is a modified version of the original design that was made in Jinsue City. Whereas in Jinsue City, the entrance would be on this side. In Lumpy Potato's house's case, the entrance is on this side. So they basically turn it sideways. Now, if we were to go ahead and try and go inside. There we go. We can see it's very similar to the previous design that's there. Sorry about the night, guys. Unfortunately, this is a survival server, so I cannot actually change night to day without, and not have to worry about mobs and stuff like that. We still have to worry about mobs. Now, one thing I do like about this newer design is that there's a lot more room for storage. The attic space is far larger. So it looks like so that Lumpy Potato has actually gone and made this a lot bigger than the original design, so very nicely done. Now here, guys, we're actually at the spawn area at Paradise Realms. So this is a very nice little spawn area that was built by staff. Zool, I can tell you, had a very, very big hand in this. I know that for sure. And if you want to go to Jinsue, what you do is you follow the signs here. You can see it says over there town information and commands, top voters for the month. You can see who here was the top voter over here. So we have Rodexa, Helios, Spud, Mix, and Flicka, who are all part of the top voter list that's there. And if you go over this side, down over here, you see the town warps that are here. So let's go back over here. So if you do /spawn, you'll end up right on this glowstone block over here, and all you have to do is just head straight and make a left turn over to the town warps. And right here is the Jinsue Empire, right under Pleasantville and next to Umbra City, I guess it is, and Dragon Cove and Mountain Villas right around us. So if you just right click on here, it'll take you to the Jinsue Empire, more specifically Jinsue City, and the customs officer will be there to greet you. From there, so all you have to do is go back down here, go inside, read the rules, just as I showed you before, on this way. Of course, much slower, of course. I'm just doing this to make this fast. Check out the general information, so you know who's who and the other things that you want to do. And then head out into Jinsue City and enjoy the sights of the Jinsue Empire. So that's it, guys, for our tour of the Jinsue Empire. And of course, there'll be some more videos as things progress, just to show you how things are coming along. I will show up with a new video that will come out maybe in episode 2 of the Jinsue Empire for when the warehouse is actually fully functioning again, as well as progress on the rail system and other small little details here in the Jinsue Empire on Paradise Realms. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave some in the comments section below. Just keep it nice and clean. And this is Check the Effects signing off. Peace.